Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to your Pluto in Aquarius video. A message that we're all looking forward and something that we're all looking forward to happen. This age of time, so to say, it is a shifting of time. And we have been feeling that, at least on a soul based and unconscious level. We've been waiting for it and we've been wanting for it to be the turn of the tide, so to say. Pluto being in Aquarius, it's a placement that has happened, well, a long time ago. And in the past 2 to 3 years, we've been having moments of perception of what this age of Aquarius with Pluto in Aquarius might look like. The truth about Pluto is that he is the lord of the underworld, is the furthermost planet from us. It's the only planet that actually leaves the solar system and then comes back. So it's the only planet that gives us that perception of connection with something bigger than our own planetary neighborhood and for something that is out there. Pluto in Aquarius is something that we've been waiting for a very long time, isn't it? Something that is sort of the stuff of prophecy, so to say. The new age, the age to come, the new golden age, the time where mankind would reach its peak. It's spoken about in so many ways. And even, I think the last record I saw of this was someone, a historian, speaking about how in the Bible there's a sort of passage where two or three of the apostles speak directly to Jesus and say, "Now that you're gonna go, what are we here to do?" And he says something like, "Follow the man, follow the man with the water-bearing pot. So follow the water bearer." And even to us, this is like, that means absolutely nothing, does it? Well, yeah, but if we go back 2,000 years, a man carrying water, a man carrying an earthen pot, a clay pot, to bring water to the home, this would have been a big no-no. We now live in a society where it doesn't matter who's carrying the water, if anyone is carrying the water. But the truth is, the job of carrying water would have been the job of the house lady, the mother, the housewife. And so the home carer. And having a man portray this activity would have been quite odd. And in that, we realize how incredible and kind of strange prophecy is, because to us it really doesn't mean anything. But the water bearer is a symbol of Aquarius. The water bearer is the constellation in the sky that dictates the new era of mankind. We have a new era every 2,000 years. And this Pluto in Aquarius is kind of a feel of what that will sound, look, and feel like. So Pluto, first and foremost, is the lord of the underworld. So it is the furthest most planet we have. So in that sense, it is the planet that's furthest to us. So it's stuff that we don't really, or we can't really perceive or comprehend. It's linked to our most deep and unconscious emotions. And in that sense, Pluto connects us deeply with our soul and the deep needs that it has. I keep on saying this over and over again, but I think it's never enough. The spirit wants, the soul needs. The soul needs a certain environment and a certain location and a certain placing of things and of events for us to put our personality in use. We can't just be tremendously skilled at writing, like short stories or writing news or writing anything for that matter, and be doing children's books. That is not the place that our soul wants us to deliver our mission. Because our skill is writing, yes, but our skill is also refined to writing short stories and such. And so, with this, we understand that Pluto, as a representative of the soul, is a planet of utmost importance. We are here to understand its meaning. We are here to understand what it's trying to reveal to us. Pluto being the lord of the underworld means that it is a tremendously unconscious planet. But when it touches upon solar and funny and happy Aquarius, it has a new tone to it. Various people are known to be quite feisty and saying exactly as it is to your face, aren't they? They are the third air. The triad of air is comprised by Gemini, the first air, the first communication, the first time we understand how ideas work and how our mind is a translation of our wants and our spirits, so to say. For air is the element of the spirit, air and fire. So Gemini is the first contact with the world of communication, whether it be verbal, physical, translating the mind and the visions and the sounds and the textures that happen in there to actual speech and sharing it with people. From Gemini, we move to Libra. And in Libra, what we feel is that we want to share our ideas through our opinions. In Libra, we start looking at our ideas through our own lens, forming our opinions. And that's what we want to do in Libra. We want to debate. We want to create harmony in debate, of course, but we want mostly to debate our opinions. So I think of this way. Like I have been doing this one recipe for a very long time, and to my experience and to my opinion, it is best if it's done this way. But I've also tried this adding this other ingredient, and in that sense is also quite interesting. So Libra is here to debate opinions so much that eventually you create what Napoleon Hill called the mastermind. You have someone's idea A, your own idea B, and the crossing of both ideas creates C idea, a third idea. That is what he called a mastermind. And that is the product of Librian debate. That is the byproduct of Librian existence, so to say. Before we move on to Aquarius, it is important that we understand Libra. Gemini learns that choices exist. In learning everything about the world, Gemini learns that the world is vast, it's filled with experiences, it's filled with things, and you don't have to take anything that comes your way. So in Libra, we will have the power of choice. We will learn and understand that choice exists, and every time we make choices, we become one with our destiny, our path, what we are here to do. We become one with our spirits. Our spirits are here for a very short time. Like the soul lives on through so many lifetimes. The spirit is literally a rent energy in it. The spirit just comes to you on this one lifetime, remains with you for a while, but then it's kind of regenerated and recycled, so to say. So it's here for this. It's that sense of we only live once. I only have this life. I have to use this life. In Libra, in an indirect way, we feel this hardly and harshly. We feel this deeply in ourselves. We understand that our choices shape our character and shape the willingness we have to show that character and to use the personality and the gifts that we are. So, from the realm of opinion, that came from the realm of ideas, opinion, we then reach this third point of the air, that is Aquarius. And on this third point, we're not going to just be debating our opinions. We're going to conceptualize our opinions to something grander. Instead of having a one opinion about one thing, we're going to generalize it to a lifestyle, to society, to a grander view for not me as an individual, Gemini, not me with the other person, Libra, but me with the collective of mankind. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the development of ideals, a structured form of ideas that represent a sort of ruling or a concept of functionality for us. But this is something in today's time, we see it a lot through not only disagreements, but mostly conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories are very ideological, aren't they? Like the earth is flat. From this moment on, the earth is flat. And I have proof. I have this proof and that proof and that proof. No, but the earth is round. It's been proven. We've gone out there. We've seen it. And so it doesn't matter, honestly. which one is right. With Pluto and Aquarius, and the thing that Aquarius people know and do and practice is, despite that we have different ideals, despite that we have different opinions, we can converse, we can debate, we can respect each other's opinions, and we can coexist. This entering of Pluto in Aquarius is going to create a lot of these scenarios for us. So a lot of controversial opinions that lead to controversial idealisms. We might see a rise in power of the right-wing governments because very extreme visions also happen in Aquarius. Aquarius is a sign that deals with our ultimate freedom. That freedom comes from the sense that we have that we're not just someone in India or in Asia or in the world or in the solar system. There's more to this than just the solar system. This is just the backyard. So when we gain this awareness and this consciousness, and when we enhance it so much, we understand that, man, I can only be humble about who I am, and I can only acknowledge that I am free because I am. Pluto in Aquarius doesn't make us feel so free, because unlike the sense of freedom that's almost a sort of utopian anarchy, where there's no rules whatsoever, like going back to the hippies in the 60s, the other side of this is a form of extremism and enclosed ideas, like you only see one possibility because you're so ideological and you want to provide so much for mankind, and you want to contribute so much, your eagerness to contribute so much that you become an extremist, as we've seen so many times in history. The extremity of saying, they don't understand what I'm doing. They don't understand that I want to do good for them. So I will just create laws and I will just create so much restriction so that they obey, and I can fulfill the vision that I have for them. And in 100 years, I will be thanked or pleased or applauded. This is Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius on a collective level. On an individual level, it is quite deeper than this. So Pluto in Aquarius forces us to see that there are places we need to be. There is a part of our character that needs to be seen. There are things that we need to do. It's not just a want. It can be a want, but that want is a must. If we are born in a certain city and we dream about moving to another one, and we wait until we are 20 and then 30 and then 40, and we live on with this dream of going and never doing it, this is the sort of stuff that Pluto in Aquarius doesn't allow you to remain on. This sort of indulged existence in your like the opposite of your karma and what you're supposed to do in here hits you really hard when Pluto is in Aquarius. Hits you hard at first. It's just like the stages of grief. So you start getting in denial. No, this was a dream a long time ago. I don't want to move away from my hometown now. I have my base here. I have my family. I have my kids. I have my, all my roots are here. But then at the same time, after all this denial, you become depressed and angry and anxious and frustrated because suddenly life hits you so hard and it makes you feel so displeasant, and it makes you feel so out of place, like nothing is ever good for me anymore. The food is tasteless, I don't sleep well, and I don't rest. The water doesn't dry my thirst. Like, what am I doing here then? And this is that feeling of Pluto coming into your body, saying, so okay, we've been here time enough and time again. Is it finally time to pack our bags and go? I am your soul. You taking me with you? Because ultimately, reaching for our wants and needs is not something that we can do. It's something that we have to do. We don't really have a choice. Pluto is that sense of pushing us against the wall. There's no escape route now. There's no way out. There's no getting out of this maze. You get out of this maze by getting into the right path. And that's the invitation. The thing about Pluto is we often tend to force it down. Upon realizing all these things about ourselves, like, I'm in a marriage that I don't want to be in, or I hate my kids, or I hate my job, then I've done 3 degrees on it to see if I like it, and I don't. Or so all these like supersonic realizations come with such anger towards ourselves, with such desperation, so to say, and so much frustration that we tend to force it down. And we tend to not admit this to ourselves and make it even worse, actually, and resisting this emotion of impotence. Because the truth is, we've built our lives a certain way, and suddenly it doesn't work. And it's, damn, how am I going to do this now? It's been 20 years in the making, this life I have now. And I'm supposed to crumble it all down to pieces? Huh? How am I going to do that? You don't do it forcefully. You don't go against it, or you don't get angry with it. You become vulnerable. You become one with this sense of impotence, with this sense of like this childlike feeling of not knowing what to do, and mommy, daddy, help me out, get me out of here. I'm so small, and I'm drowning, so to say. It hurts. I don't know what to do. That's that feeling we forget it so quickly, don't we? But children know it best. If you don't know how that feeling is in yourself, you can find it in children around you and see that so many times they just cry out of desperation, like, I have pain, or I am heated up, or I'm hungry, or I'm thirsty, or I'm just bored and I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to cry and let all these emotions out. I'm going to vehicle these emotions enough until I'm calm and serene and in homeostasis again, so that I can go back to whatever I was doing, which is living. Pluto in Aquarius is going to feel very much like this. We need to have a rant, we need to cry it out, we need to be angry, we need to scream to the bathwater and like punch a few pillows, go out and bat some balls, eventually to tire our body of these emotions, make the vehicle capable of these emotions. Only then, when the vessel is empty, are we ready to seek that vulnerability and to say, man, I hate my job, or God, I don't see myself. I didn't think love was going to be this way. I'd rather divorce after so many years and against my family's wishes, and the general usual drama of everybody's life. But it's really hard to come to terms with these decisions. But vulnerability gets you there. Admitting it to yourself gets you there. It's the first step. Because the moment you, instead of indulging in the anger that is right there, if you're free from the emotions and if you indulge on this childlike approach, children are very vulnerable towards showing how impotent they feel. Let's not forget that. Let us remember that we need to be vulnerable. We sometimes, or actually all the time, feel that by becoming vulnerable, we're showing a weak side of our character, or not really promoting strength. But in truth, a person that is one with their emotions shows great character and shows great power, because 99% of people are hiding them out. There's nothing wrong with your emotions. I have a funny story about this. I failed my driver's test because I didn't give a right. It's very frustrating. And then as I was doing my repetition classes, my instructor was telling me a story. She was telling me that another girl from the school, and it's funny because we went to primary school together, then we've never seen forever, and then we met in driving school. And her name was Yvonne, and she was a very emotional person, but she still is today. And my instructor was telling me, your friend, Yvonne. And I was like, yeah. Well, she passed. I was like, did she? She was very worried about that. What happened? And she said, yeah, she was. She did those 32 classes, and she did like 10 or 12 more. And she even practiced with her parents and whatnot. She was very stressed, and she thought she was super incapable. But the truth is, she did the exam driving at like 20 to 30 to 40, very, very slowly. And she cried throughout the whole time. And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, the examiner was a bit distraught, but at the same time, I mean, what can you do? A person is allowed to have emotions, in it. So she cried throughout the whole exam and did everything perfect. The emotions were so overwhelming to her, like, oh my god, I can't fail, I don't have money to buy it again, like it's gonna take me another year to get all this money, na na na. So that was the thing that was going on in her mind. She was doing everything in her power to be successful. And everything in her power means being vulnerable enough to cry in front of your examiner. And not let your ego get in there saying that if you cry, you're gonna fail or you're gonna be flunked. No, she wasn't. She passed with flying colors. And until today, she probably has not had a car accident. Who knows? So remember that. Next time you have a plutonic crisis, which we might feel after this full moon in Leo, it's very likely. Remember that. Yet, know that despite vulnerability not being a very safe place, you will feel more empowered than you've ever felt in your life. Because in truth, if you go back to your childhood, if you go back to how you felt as a kid, you felt empowered. No one could stop you. You were not even thinking that something or someone could stop you. Do anything. So just get on your feet and go. Be vulnerable. Admit things to yourself. On the full moon in Leo, I gave kind of a secret formula to connecting with vulnerability. And the first stage, I would say, is admitting things to ourselves in our mind. So gaining awareness or gaining perception. So understanding that these things are a black hole. You've never seen them throughout your life, or it was very easy for you to shove them down somewhere, like put them in the vault and like lock it with 7 keys and that's it. And now it isn't. So when you become aware of it, just acknowledge that, I see. I am aware of it. Then the second stage would be write it down. Put it in physical form. Before you put it in sound, put it in physical form. After that, say it out loud. Put it in tone, put it in frequency, put it in sound. Your body will vibe differently. After that, connect that to your vision. See yourself saying this to yourself. Go to a mirror and admit, like, I am not okay with this situation, and I would like to change it, and I don't know how, and I feel impotent about it. I don't know what to do and how to do it. And fifth and last stage, or actually you can take it to a 6th, 7th, 8th, and millionth, you admit it to a friend. You just let it out of your chest. It's going to be so easy because you've already done the others. And sometimes you might feel that you just need to think it and go straight to the mirror stage. Or you just do, you think it, you say it out loud, and you call a friend and you admit it to a friend. That's all it takes for the emotion to be out of your body and you to start making plans for yourself and feeling energized and vital enough to create the life of your dreams. It is not so hard. It's actually quite easy. It just takes a certain amount of steps. First, we need to clear the vessel, and then we need to let the vessel do what it does best. Move. So, with this Pluto in Aquarius, remind yourself always to become vulnerable. For vulnerability is the way to your grandest power. The power to make yourself happy and the power to make everyone around you happy. Because it is a contagious fire indeed. And accept that there will be times of sorrow, there will be times of desperation. But just like a child, you can cry them out. You can feel them out of your body. Admit that you're feeling like hell, that you're not feeling good. It's fine. It's just a moment. It's like what Buddha used to say, everything is impermanent. So connect yourself with that impermanence of your emotions. Let them out and move on. I can even tell you a personal story. I had a meltdown just before I've done this video. So we are on this location. It's beautiful, but nothing was working. I was so uncomfortable. The sun was on my face. I was like making all funny faces, trying to look at the camera. The sound was not right. Then people were coming in and interrupting, asking questions. And I was like, man, why is this video not happening? And then I just had a meltdown. I started crying and saying, God damn it, I just woke up so early. I want it done. I had the ideas flowing through me. I want to tell this to people. It's such an important message. God damn it, why can't I do it? And then suddenly, I let it out. I cried it out. The emotions came off, and I was like, I want to do it. I just want to do it in a certain condition, in a certain way, with a certain background that I'm not finding right now. Because I wanted the sun, but the sun is impossible because it's in my eyes. So the cry, the admitting that I was feeling impotent and frustrated and like incapacitated in a way, led me to realize something that I could not have realized with all those emotions going through my body. I couldn't realize that. All I wanted was a change of frame. And accepting that I can't have the sun on this video because it's too strong at this time of day. So this is a perfect example of what's going on right now and how we're going to feel for so long, for so long. This whole year is going to be like that. I say, oh, Joe, but that's going to be so shit. No, it isn't. That's the thing. Honestly, I think this video turned out quite well, don't you? This video turned out quite well. It's quite engaging. It's got funny stories. It's serious, but it's playful at the same time. It's inviting. It's homely in a way. Like, there's a home family behind us and a lot of puppies around that might be on some B-rolls. So, this to say that despite the fact that you'll feel impotent, grass is ever greener. You will find the Emerald City within you, and you will find it within you to reach for your own power. Because you are powerful, my darling. You're powerful enough. Alright, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this Pluto and Aquarius video. I realize now that I gave 2 examples of vulnerability with emotions that lead to crying. That is not the case for everybody. Some of us just might be angry and push a door or something, punch a wall. That's fine. Or some of us just might have to scream. Just the vulnerability, what I mean by becoming vulnerable is you might wish to do it in private or in front of anybody. But is it becoming okay with the fact that you have emotions? They have a natural expression. And once that expression is done, you're fine to go back to yourself and being serene and homeostatic, so to say. It doesn't matter so much what people say, because they can see how cool you become once the all the eruption is out. Whether it be a cry or whether it be like punching a few walls, it's fine. It really doesn't matter. Emotions come out in the most expressive ways, and that is okay. If you are a person with a very strong Leo personality, you will want to have that moment of like punching a few pillows or like going against a few walls. It's normal, it's okay. Once it's done, you are one with yourself again. So that's all that matters. So that is my wish for you with this Pluto and Aquarius. Become one with yourself by being brave enough to become vulnerable. Vulnerability is here to stay. Mankind is finally accepting that we have to be vulnerable. There is only that way. Everything around us tells us that it's not okay to be vulnerable, that emotions should be contained, that you're a crybaby, or it is not true. We're all made from the same things. If we contain emotions, the body is not at ease. It'll just develop disease. So all we have to do is let them out. Because that's the point of emotions. Emotions are the tool by which the soul communicates with us. So when we use them, we understand our new direction. But we have to use them, and we have to put them out. I'll see you on the next one. And until then, stay light and stay bright.